You know, if you look at the biggest efficiency gains that we've seen in the last 18 months, it hasn't been from like the new generation of a GPU. It's been from VLLM and LLMD and the software stack where we've seen like, LLMD has these benchmarks out there that are 14x, 25x on the same hardware. And so if we are in a world, which we know like this is the world we live in, where the chips are constrained, the power, like the power grid is constrained, you can't just buy more chips. Even if you had unlimited money, you can't just buy more chips. So you have to figure out, how do I get more capacity out of the footprint, the physical footprint that I have? And we're finding ways in software to do that more and more. And LLMD is one example. VLLM, which is within the PyTorch Foundation, this is kind of their specialty. Is they're an inference engine for serving models. Whenever a new model drops, it pretty much always has VLLM support on day zero, and they continue to just like eke out efficiency gains. And it's been where we've seen just so many advancements in the performance of these systems. And yeah, I think that's the two aspects: is you have to be able to run it at all, and then in a world that is facing hardware constraints and power constraints, you have to get more out of the same physical footprint.
I was discussing this the other day with someone, just the open source footprint and impact on Gen AI going forward. And I have a theory that at some point customers are going to start making this part of like RFPs and wanting to see open source as part of what they're consuming, where their dollars are being spent for this. And I think that's what's coming. And I think if that happens, and maybe you're already seeing, tea leaves of that. I think that's the game changer, right? Because now the dollars are speaking.
Yeah, I think there have been, we actually recently launched a new foundation called the Tokenomics Foundation, and this foundation is entirely focused on measuring, optimizing, understanding basically like the economic value generated by AI workloads. And the executive director of that foundation, J.R. Stormont, he has a great bit that he uses in his presentations around just kind of like how compressed these eras have been in the AI life cycle, of how we went from like, token maxing, like we talked about, to like take all my data, to wait, I don't want you to have it, to wait, how's the value? Like we've kind of sped run through this whole gamut of the normal tech adoption in basically, like 6 months or a year. If you look at things that have existed for a long time, where whether you're talking about like databases or operating systems or application servers or whatever, what you'll notice is that open source becomes a bedrock part of every one of those strategies.